What up? What up? What up? It's your favorite podcast with your favorite podcast host. Talking your favorite podcast message. Talking the favorite podcast stuff. What's happening? It's Freewenow. It's Freewenow. Freewenow. It's Freewenow.
Till it is. 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 It is. It is. Backwards.
What up? What up? We back. It's Freewenow.
Till it is backwards.
Yes, sir. Ski. Look, we got a great one for you today.
Amazing one.
We are in Genesis 41, talking about Joseph, man.
Joseph.
Hey, this is a great one. I learned so much just by actually reading these stories as opposed to somebody just telling them to me in the pulpit. What you got for the people?
Hey, for every season, there is a reason. For every reason, there is a lesson. And every lesson is a blessing. If you didn't get that, just wait till we go through these verses.
And if you got a blessing, why you stressing? Because if it ain't a blessing, it's a lesson. You understand me? You dig? All right, look, we're talking about Joseph. Okay, your boy Joseph, man. Man, if you think your life is tough, whenever you feel like, man, I'm having a bad day, I want you to think about Joseph. Man, you won't believe what happened to me. I want you to think about Joseph. You feeling like, I can't believe they did me like that. I want you to think about Joseph. Okay, so look, here's the quick background, okay? Joseph was sold into slavery by guess who? His own brothers. It'd be your own people. So he's sold into slavery, okay? He is now bought, right, by an Egyptian man who's the captain of the guard for Pharaoh by the name of Potiphar. All right? He's in Potiphar's house now, and he has favor, right, which made his brothers jealous of him, which sold him into slavery. Now he's also, this favor of God is on Joseph's life. Sometimes your favor is going to bring you some things that you got to endure. Don't think that you got favor and you ain't going to have nothing to go through. So he has favor. He's in Potiphar's house now as a slave. Remember that. He's a slave. Okay. As a slave, he now gets promoted to running all of Potiphar's businesses, and he's running his household. To the point they say Potiphar don't have to do anything except order food.
Don't even got to lift the finger.
Don't have to do anything. Okay. Now, Joseph, being the man, they said he was handsome. They said he was fit. Okay. Potiphar's wife, she like basically demanding that Joseph sleeps with her.
Trying to give him that butt.
Joseph's like, nah, I'm cool. Like, I got everything I want, and I will not disrespect Potiphar by trying to mess with you. I'm declining that. Ain't no way. She's like, no. And she keeps pressing the issue, to almost, if you give it the, honestly, if you read between the lines, she dang near sexually harassing him.
Yeah, she grabbed on him.
You know what I'm saying? Trying to make him sleep with her. He literally pushes her away, snatches away from her, and runs away from her. Okay? She basically lies on him, says that, hey, husband, who's Potiphar, you know, your boy Joseph tried to sleep with me, tried to rape me. I didn't want it. Look at his garment that I still have in here when I pushed him off of me. Right? Lying. Scandalous. Okay? Scandalous. Right? He gets put in jail for this. Right? He's now in prison for a false accusation. So before I turn it over to Keith, I just want you guys to keep in mind, he was sold into slavery by his brothers. Then as a slave, when it couldn't get no worse, not only you're a slave, now they put a false accusation of rape on you, and now you are in prison.
Every time I get up, they find
If
a
it
way
ain't
to put
one
me
thing,
back down.
it's another.
All right, so now he's in prison. So I'm going to fast forward to a part where we get it, and then I can bring it back. So at this point, Pharaoh of Egypt starts to have these dreams. Now, he's a little confused, but they came in two. So he had a dream he was standing outside of a riverbank, and these healthy cows came out of the river, 7 of them. Fattened up, good eats. You know what I'm saying? I seen a ribeye or 2 on them. But after those came 7 cows that were famished. Looked terrible, skinny. You could see their ribs. Those 7 cows consumed the fatty, healthy cows. And it even said that when they consumed those cows, it didn't even look like they had eaten. So now the Pharaoh's confused. He woke up in a little shake, like, that was a weird dream. Like, really, what's going on? Goes back to sleep. He has another dream. A dream of a stalk that had 7 healthy corn husks on it. Then another stalk grew up, looking famished. Not good. They said that it looked like the wind blew the kernels off of it. Those stalks consumed the healthy stalks. Now, the Pharaoh starts to realize that this dream means something. If I have 2 dreams that line up, something's going on. So he invited all the top magicians, all the top fortune seers, all the top palm readers, the sorcerer's stone people to help him out. But nobody could figure it out. Boom. Here comes the butler. He says, I knew I forgot about something. Now this goes back to why, my boy Joseph being in prison. Joseph had previously interpreted the dreams of this butler and a baker. They were having dreams as well. He told them exactly what was going to happen, and it came to pass. Unfortunately, the baker is no longer with us. But the butler returned to his station. Joseph had told him, when you get to your station, just remember me so I can get up out of here. But, you get to partying and parlaying. He forgot about my boy Joseph. But just when you think that God's not on your side, things pop up and happen. So the butler remembers, he said, I was locked up with this dude who knows how to interpret dreams. Pharaoh, you might want to chop it up with him. Like, he told me about this dream and it all came to true. Like, I'm back in your crib because of this dream.
Right.
So the Pharaoh says, expeditiously, go get my boy Joseph. So Joseph shows up. The Pharaoh says, I heard you know how to read dreams. I'm going to stop at this point because I think Joseph said a very great thing. He said, that's not in me. That's God. So I'm just doing God's work. We'll get back to that. So the Pharaoh says, all right, this is my dream. This is what happened. This was going on. What you think? He said 7s for the cows and for the stalks. That means 7 years. So you're going to have 7 years of prosperity followed by 7 years of famine. Now the Pharaoh's like, bro, I don't know if we can deal with that. Joseph said, I got an idea for you. So that's what we're going to do. You take 1/5 of all of your provisions for those 7 years and you store them up. That way, when the famine hits, you got enough food to give out to everybody. The Pharaoh said, you smart. You real smart.
You was smart.
So I'm going to put you in charge of everything. He said, the only way I'm going to be above you is in throne alone. Everything else is yours. I want you to run the government. I want you to run the taxes. I want you to run everything in the city. You the man. Everybody is beneath you. I'm the only one above you slightly. Right? So my boy Joseph said, okay. He did what he had to do. He also gave him a wife. He had 2 sons. He's doing his thing. Of course, they had the 7 years of prosperity. They follow Joseph's plan. The famine comes. Now people start to complain. Pharaoh, I ain't got nothing to eat. He said, go talk to Joseph. I'm not trying to deal with that. And Joseph was selling the things that they stored up. So that's a quick run through of the story of how Joseph interpreted the Pharaoh's dreams.
Facts.
So with that being said, what did you get out of here, or what are some points that you really wanted to drive home?
Yeah, I think first one is like from prison to purpose. Right? From prison to purpose. Right? Joseph's seasons of not just physically, he did go to prison, but even just being in the imprisonment of sometimes feeling like you have favor and you keep falling into these bad situations. You almost become a prisoner of your own talent. You know what I mean? So sometimes when you have a gift and when you have a talent, it can be a burden on you because you feel like people are always attacking you. People are always after you. People are always out to get you. Right. So first off, he was in prison in his own crib. You feel me? His brothers sold him off into slavery. Now he's in prison he's a prisoner, right? Being enslaved, right? Now he's actually going to physical prison and being a prisoner because of what happened with the false accusations of rape. And however, in every situation that he's in, God turns those bad situations for his good. In every situation he's in, he's like, he raises to the top. He's running a prison. He's running Potiphar's house. He's now with Pharaoh and he's running the entire country, the entire nation of Egypt. Right? God can use whatever Satan try to turns for your evil, for your bad, for your good. Right? So he will protect you even when you feel like you're not being protected. Even when you feel like, man, why they keep getting me? He's still protecting you through that. And in those prison situations, he's developing his skills. He's developing his gifts. He's developing as a person. It says by the time now he's serving as the second in command over the greatest nation at that time, he's 30 years old. Imagine how much he's gone through and seen just to be 30 years old running all of that.
He's kind of young getting it
That's
done.
pretty young, bro. He's our age running. That's like us running America right now.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? At 30. Right? So imagine how much he's gone through and how much he's learned. You don't get to that point overnight. Like everything that he did, even having the wisdom and the humbleness to know, hey, look, through all of that, is God interpreting these dreams. I'm not interpreting these dreams. That's God doing that. Right? So even for him to have the wisdom and the humbleness to still say it's God after all of that, he could have been spiteful. He could have been like, nah, it's me.
It's me.
I'm doing this. You know what I mean? But instead he did not. That lets you know his heart. That lets you know why God keeps blessing him. That lets you know why he is in the position that he's in. So from prison to purpose, don't let your circumstances define you. And don't let your circumstances define how God feels about you. Don't think that just because you're going through bad things that God don't love you. Don't think that just because you're going through bad things that God's still not going to protect you and you still not going to be elevated and you still not going to reach your potential or the place that you're supposed to be because you feel like you're in a bad place. It don't matter your circumstances. It don't matter your environment. From prison to purpose.
Love that. Prison to purpose. You can be elevated. Don't think that just because you're in a low spot now, you'll stay there. And another thing in regards to that is what seems like a delay is ultimately a part of God's plan. What seems like a delay is ultimately a part of God's plan. Now here, simmer with me in this one, right? Imagine if the butler would have remembered his promise to Joseph. Joseph probably would have got out of prison and dipped from Egypt. He may have not fulfilled his purpose. So like, I can understand Joseph having some type of reservations. Like, God, like I got sold into slavery. Then I'm doing the right thing in the house. And then I get kicked back down into prison. Then I help people interpret their dreams through your power and they forget about me. Oh, wait, actually now I'm second in command. Stop thinking you're ready before you are. Only God knows when you're ready. Only God knows the amount of work that it's going to take to get you to a station that you can maintain. A lot of times we think we're ready and we may have some of the prerequisites, but we don't have the things that will keep us in a permanent place or allow us to complete God's purpose. Timing is everything. In the Bible, it says there is a season for everything. There's one to reap. There's one to sow. There's one to talk. There's one to be quiet. There's one to be hot. There's one to be cold. There's one to do everything. There's a season for everything. And timing is the most important thing. You ever tried to tell somebody or comfort somebody in a time of like ultimate disdain for you? It doesn't hit the same. They don't care what you're saying. They don't like you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You ever try to motivate somebody when they just don't have the capacity to listen? There's a time for everything. Stop thinking that the small delays in your life are God forgetting about you. He understands what you're going through. You know what I'm saying? As they say, the journey is what makes the destination worth it. When you get to the destination, you just think about how great the journey was, or you reflect on how hard the journey was. I realize a lot of times when you finally get to your destination, you kind of forget it. You're like, oh, this was great. And then you go on to the next path. You go on to the next thing. So understand there is a time for everything. If Joseph would have got out too soon, Egypt would have been suffering from the famine. You know what I'm saying? If he didn't get out soon enough, Egypt would have been suffering from the famine. Understand that your purpose is not on your time frame. And for a human, or I'll say even for me, sometimes that's a hard thing to swallow. To realize that no matter how ready I think I am, or how much I want something now, or feel like I need something now, it doesn't matter if it's not within God's plan. It doesn't make sense if it's not within God's plan. A lot of us, that's why I said, revisit your why and stop thinking it starts and ends with you. Because a lot of the things that we do in life, we don't even realize how much it impacts and affects people. Joseph don't realize that sitting in prison saved probably thousands of souls. Being sold into slavery saved thousands of souls. Being a stand-up guy saved thousands of slaves. That's why it's a time to wait. It's a time to be patient. Don't give up. Don't give in. Don't forget about your faith just because you feel like things are going to be delayed. As God said, you know, he knows the plans he has for us, you know, to prosper us and not hurt us, to give us hope. Everything that he gives us in his time will be better than anything we could have ever imagined. I wouldn't have thought I was going to be second in command after being in prison. But look at you now, Joseph, my guy.
Look at me now. Look at me now. Yeah, I mean, wisdom and leadership, right? Like, you don't get to that point in second in command and know what to do without having all of that experience. Right. And it shows me that Joseph was who he was before he got into second in command. Right. Like, he was already the person who he was supposed to be before that. Right. So just because he was a prisoner didn't mean he was a bad person. Just because he was a slave didn't mean he was lazy or he owes somebody a debt. Because back in those times, you would have to go into indentured servitude or become a slave when you didn't pay your debts, right? So don't allow, right, the titles that somebody else puts on you to define you. Don't allow somebody to, they call you a slave, oh, you are a slave. They call you a racial slur, oh, you are that racial slur. I'm not going to be offended by every little thing that you may say to me, or more titles that you try to put on me, or narratives or stories that you try to put on me, because I know that doesn't define me. I'm not going to behave like a slave behaves, because I'm not a slave. I'm not a slave up here. Now, in my circumstances, it may be that, but up here and in here, I know who I am. I'm going to stay me regardless. If my brothers, if my family, my big brothers who's supposed to look out for me and teach me and give me game, my big brothers sold me. A lot of people be down and out. You mean to tell me you went from your brothers selling you to now you pretty much the president, you running the country? You know what I'm saying? Like, that takes resilience. You know what I'm saying? That takes trust. That takes humbleness in God. Because if we keep it 100, when Joseph got sold into slavery by his brothers, it's really because his dad gave him that coat. And Joseph was, you know, he was kind of a little loudmouth a little bit when he was younger. He was basically saying like, look, I'm going to be running all y'all. God gave me a dream, and he told me I'm going to be doing this, that, and the third. And I'm going to be on top of y'all. Y'all going to be serving me. Right? So as a young, as you mentioned earlier, he went ready to handle it then. You know what I mean? So now you flip it around. Years later at 30, he interpreting dreams. He's like, nah, bro, this ain't me. This God.
This God.
But not to say that those things happened to him because of that, right? But God used those situations and those circumstances as an opportunity, right, to help him develop and help him grow, right? So you are who you are despite what you are going through. Keep your identity. Keep your faith. Keep your trust in God. Don't let anything that happens to you define who you are or define what you think your relationship is with God, right? That wisdom of having, 1/5. We're going to do 1/5 that's a very specific number, right? Like, for 7 years, 1/5 is going to be this much and we're going to be good, right? And allowing God to speak to you and even being able to hear God. If you would be quiet right now and be like, God, talk to me right now, you wouldn't know who talking. I'm telling you that because I wouldn't know.
Facts.
So that allows you to see how much time has he spent. How much time did he really put in? We may see, they're like, he's getting promoted. And he's the head of the house. To make those decisions, do you know how much pressure that was? Do you know how much time that he had to spend with God to even be able to hear him? How much time do you have to where it's like, that's God. I ain't got to think about it. We finna do this. We finna do that. They telling him to dream on the spot. And on the spot, he's revealing what it is. You know what I mean? That lets you know how connected he was. I'm asking myself, like, I got some work to do. Bro was 30.
Yeah, a lot of work.
Bro was 30, bro. You know what I mean? So, like, use your trials and your tribulations as the armor and as the pedestals and the ladders that's going to take you up to where you're supposed to go.
Hearing that story made me think of Hoes where he said, I'm tired of digging grandpa. Well, that's too damn bad. I feel like that's how God be thinking about it. It's like, y'all really complaining? Just keep going. You be all right.
You be all right.
And another thing I want to touch on is, right, how he talked about the fifth. I plead the fifth, right? Prepare in your abundance so that you do not perish in your scarcity. Don't find so much comfort in your success that you forget what failure looked like. Don't find so much comfort in your comfort that you forget what it means to be uncomfortable. That is an important notion that you should take in life, especially as men. I say this for like men in general. You have to prepare for failure. You have to prepare for times of a lack of success, for a time where there is no prosperity, a time where things just not making sense, where your game not hitting the way you thought it was, that them ends not coming as quick as they do. When you're up, prepare for the time that you may be down, because just because you have success now, don't think that is forever. Don't think that is a constant. You realize how much work it took you to get there, and now you're going to forget that there's work involved. I like how Joseph said, hey, you got 7 years of prosperity and 7 years of famine. You got the heads up that most people don't even get. You know when it's coming. 7 years from now, Things gonna be a little bit scarce. So prepare. And I don't need you to take everything. If you making, $100,000 a year right now, you don't got to take the whole $100,000 and put it away. But a little 10 ball is nice. A little 15,
little 15 piece,
little 15 piece, little 10 ball, and put it to the side. You prepare for times where the light not shining as bright as you thought it was. You prepare for the times where, things are messed up. And it's not even in the fact that things may be messed up in your life. I mean, it may be messed up in the people's lives around you. One thing that I always had a problem with is that when people do pass away, that the families can't afford the funeral. It's like, I need the church to save me. You didn't think that there's a possibility that this happens, especially when you got kids or you got older siblings or older parents. You have to be prepared for those times because eventually that something's going to come. God has already told you when the fire comes, when the flood comes. Like, there's going to be tumultuous times in your life. So don't get so comfortable in being up that you don't know what it means to be down. Because I'm telling you right now, it's a lot harder to be down when you're not prepared. You ever tried to go on the test and never look at the book? I'm going to tell you right now, you failed it. You know what I'm saying? Unless Albert Einstein or something, you probably failed it. So prepare for those times of uncertainty, even if they never come. Even if they never come. A lot of us, if we knew the future, it was like, God was like, yo, you don't even worry about it. It's never going to be a problem. Maybe it might be a test. Maybe be like, gotcha. Should have prepared. I gave you all the provisions you needed and you didn't do anything with them. You didn't look out for the people around you. You didn't look out for yourself. You got comfortable in something that I gave you, knowing that I could take it away anytime. I want y'all to realize the success you have is not your own. It's what God gave you, but also realize he can take it away. So prepare in abundance so you do not perish in scarcity.
A refreshing thing reading this story, and as we read other stories in the Bible, is that what separates us from people that believe and don't believe? It's the heads up. It's the sustainment through a famine.
Yeah.
It's that we're going to build a ship 100 years in advance so when it floods, we prepared, Noah.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the heads up that that everybody doesn't get. It's the insider trading. You know what I'm saying? Like, we want to know how is Nancy Pelosi so rich? It's the insider trading. Think about, how are you so rich? I got insider trading. God has given me the movie, but I know the ending before it happened.
We really nepotism babies of God.
We just nepo babies.
Nepo babies of God.
We nepo babies. We get the heads up. He's gonna give you the. Are you gonna listen though?
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna put that money in that stock that your mentor told you to?
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Say that for another time. Are you gonna listen? Because it may not look like the famine and storing up grain, but it could be investing in some stocks that you get some heads up on. That just comes supernaturally to you, or some investments in some real estate, or whatever it is, or this career opportunity, or hey, maybe you need to go back to school. So by the time this happens, boom, 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 and you're ready to go. Like, what is that? That's the difference that separates us. So when the famine does hit, when the storm does come, and Jesus be like, we going to the other side, and he sleep on the ship, even though it's storming and it's flooding on the ship, and he go grab a pillow. We going to the other side. That's what separates us. That's the distinction. That's the sanctification of us, right? What sets us apart? It's that heads up. It's that sustainment. It's that, hey, when this happens, you're going to have an abundance and they're going to have to come to you.
I love that, man. God gives you heads up if you listen. And my last point, and I think one of the most important points, and I want to belabor this because it's something that I have to learn. Praise God in every sense. Praise God in every sense. Joseph didn't take credit for reading the dreams.
Facts.
And I think that's important to note because sometimes we can get so full of ourselves that we don't realize we're making people rely on us instead of God. We can get so full of ourselves that we take credit for what God is doing.
Me.
That's why I love, as much as people may not agree with it, that, shout out sports players, NFL players, NBA players. When they get those interviews, the first thing that they normally say is, thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. First thing that come out their mouth. People all around talking about why they saying that, why they thanking God, why they doing all that, why aren't you? Everything that you have is because of God. Everything you will ever have is because of God. The gifts that you have, because of God. If you smart, because of God. If you run fast, because of God. If you quick on your toes, light on your feet, because of God. If you just know how to paint, if you're creative, if you're doing things that are almost insane, your imagination is because of God. So you have to give praise to him. Don't forget about God. God likes to be acknowledged. And Hassan said that God already knows what we're going to ask for. He just wants you to humble yourself and ask. He just wants you to humble yourself and realize that we need God above all. So praise him every single time. When somebody tells you you're doing amazing, it's because of God. Somebody says, I don't know how you do that, it's because of God. I want people to be able to understand that any success, and I'm talking for us right now, that we have is because of God. Don't ever let me get to a point when I'm up here talking about, Keith, that's who did it. I'm the guy. I'm the man. Nobody else. Just me doing it all. It's no. I'm talking out the side of my neck. I done went off the path if I start doing that. Everything we have and will ever have and everything Freewenow is about is because of God.
It's Freewenow.
Till it is backwards.
Yes, sir. Skate.